Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm doing another one of my Magblade videos. This is update 30, Blackwood. And we're checking out all the new things and changes and some new gear, and I'm doing things slightly different than I did with update 29. So let's check it out. Let's see what's going on, and hopefully this will be informative for you, and you can kind of get the reasoning behind why I made the changes. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've actually parsed the highest I've ever parsed, which was 88 K DPS on a parsing dummy. So I'm very happy about that. I'm in the hunt for 90. So one of these days I'll get there. So we'll go slow. We'll take it from the beginning. And let me just show you all the stuff that I've got. All right. So let's start off with the gear, because that's usually what people are wondering about. What am I changing? Well, I'm now going with all 7 light pieces. Actually, I should say 6, because I've got something new. All right, we've got a medium piece that we've put in here, and this is one of the new mythic items. It's called the Harpooner's Wading Kilt. And the big part about this, a lot of people have called it like a mini Thracians in here, is that if you deal direct damage, it grants you a stack of Hunter's Focus. Okay, so what's Hunter's Focus? For like a minute, up to 10 stacks is the max. You can gain only 1 stack of Hunter's Focus per second. Each stack of the focus increases your critical chance by 125 and your critical damage by 1%. All right? So at your maximum, you're going to do 10% more damage. All right? Now, that seems, wow, that's going to add 10% damage. All I have to do is light attack it, and after 10 seconds, I'll have it up and ready to go. Which, especially for parsing, is really good because you don't have to worry about any repercussions. But the side effects here, if you look down a little bit more, is that taking direct damage will remove 5 of those stacks of Hunter's Focus once per second. Removing Harpooner's Wading Kilt also removes the stacks in total of Hunter's Focus if you're swapping gear out. All right. So this means if I get hit, let me say I get hit, once and then I get hit right away again, boom, I'm starting from scratch again. From what I've seen, I've watched people talk about it, and I've used it in practice. It still is going to overall give you a lot of good damage. Excuse me. So I believe it's still worth it, and especially if you're in a trial and you're not taking damage, because we're a range class, you're still going to do a lot of damage with this. All right. So, but it is a medium, and the enchantment originally was a stamina, so I had to change it to Magicka for me. So yeah. So the rest of it is going to be light though. Okay, and I am running. Let's start with the monster. Well, I'm actually running just one monster on the shoulders, Slimecraw. And why I pick Slimecraw is because it has a little extra to the crit chance. See where it says under part of the Slimecraw set, the one item that's glowing, or a little brighter white, that says 771. That one's higher than, let's see, is there a crit one in there? Yeah, if you see, it says add 657. That's usually the normal, is 657. So Slimecraw gives you a little bit more. Whether or not you want to use it for like the helm or shoulder, doesn't matter. I picked the helm to complete my Mother Sorrow, because when I put in the kilt, I lost part of the Mother Sorrow set, so I had to get it back somehow. So that's why my monster set is incomplete. So I have Mother Sorrow on the helm, the chest, the waist, the boots, and the gloves. All right, and then of course the kilt. So that's the breakup of the monster set and what I'm using. My other one is still Medusa. I'm still using Medusa. For me, it works out really well. I'm not really good at channel acceleration. I never have been. And so when this came out, a few updates, last year. I was really happy about it. So to get that minor force, increasing my crit damage by 10%. And I have it on the front bar because that's where I spend most of my time. So because I do go to the back bar, which I have as my Maelstrom, Perfected Inferno Staff, um, I can't get Medusa to be 100% of the time, but that's okay. I'll take a good 75, 80% of the time, because that actually was doing more overall damage for me than trying to get channel acceleration because of that cast time. It's always a little rough. So I have my jewelry. It's all bloodthirsty with the spell damage enchant. Oh, I should also say that with my Mother's Sorrow, it is the Magicka enchant. All right, in Divines, I use Divines because I use the Thief Mundus Stone, and I'll talk more about that. All right. For my weapon, so front bar, Inferno Staff of Medusa, I've now changed. This is a new change. It's still imprecise to give me the spell crit, but I'm using poison damage. You might be wondering why. Poison is very strong. It's the second strongest after burning. All right. And I get to add a little bit of CP to help out with martial attacks and procs. And so it actually works out that I do a little bit more damage by doing it this way. That's actually a very new thing for me. Back bar, the Maelstrom Perfected Inferno Staff. It is infused, so my enchant is a little bit more. And I switched it from, I used to have the weapon and spell damage enchant on it, but now I have all flame. So flame damage, and then poison damage on the front. So that's a big change from what we were seeing with update 29 with my last video. All right. Okay, so I believe that's everything for the gear. Okay. The other thing when, let's see, for food, let's talk about our food, consumables. When I'm parsing, I'm still using Ghastly Eyeball to get the Magicka recovery. That's really big. But now I'm using just the regular blue food when I'm out and about and doing trials and doing all my stuff. Real cheap to make. I think with all my stuff, I can make like 4,000 of these. So, because I was using Artaeum fish bowl, but they've reduced the numbers on that. And it's a very expensive food. So now with the Solitude, you've got the something that's very comparable and a lot cheaper. So increases the health by 53.95, and Magicka by 4.936. And it lasts a little bit longer because I've got some stuff into the CP. Yeah. So there's no recovery on that, but my recovery is actually pretty good. So let's see. So we did food. We've got that. Oh, spell pots that I use. I use the Essence of Spell Power pots. Grants Major Sorcery, which increases your spell damage by 20%. Grants Major Prophecy, gives you spell crit rating goes up, and gives me 7582 Magicka immediately, and grants me Major Intellect, which increases my Magicka recovery by 30% through that time as well. So really good. So gear, food, what we've got there. All right, let's now switch over to do I want to do skills first? So I want to do. Well, yeah. Actually, let's do. Let's go to the character sheet here. All right. So attributes, everything in the Magicka. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have any food on right now. Let's put. Let's have the food, so I can see exactly what I'm looking at for stats. And I'll do it first without using the spell pod. Oops. So 37 maximum Magicka, not bad. Health 25. Stamina, not too bad either. My Magicka recovery is over 1,000, which is really good. Spell damage, am I on my? I think I'm on my front bar. Am I on my front bar? Yes, I am. All right, on my front bar, we got 2857 and spell crit percentage 82.1. You're like, whoa, you got a whole lot of. Yeah, I do. I do. 82. And when I have that spell pot, it's even going to go up even more. I am using the thief. I find I like going with the thief and making sure that with that high crit chance that pretty much everything I do crits. I think it's something like, oh gosh, it's we've got the percentage, but like 90% of what I do crits. I like that as a more kind of stable critting situation than going with like the Shadow, which had bigger crits but more infrequent. So that's why I went with the Thief. But you can go with either, whatever works better for you, and that's definitely something that you can choose. Let's see. There's my minor force from my thing, and my food buff. So we've got those numbers. Now let's see if when I hit my spell pot, boom. Let's go into it. We're now up. Spell damage is now up to 3428. My recovery, 1296, which is very nice. Yeah. So there we go. Yep. Let's see. And why don't we also change for the back bar too? Let's flip that just so you can see those stats. 3726. I get a little bit more health on the back. 3428. Spell crit is at 61. So a little bit lower on the back bar, but like I said, the back bar is where I don't spend as much time on. Front bar, I'm going to be spending much more time. So having that, let me flip that. There we go, is much more important. All right. Let's see. Next, let's go to the skills. What skills am I using? Well, here's kind of my overall dungeoneering while I'm going out, doing some trials and not really trying to parse in here. I have switched to my new one here. I had Twisting Path on the front before. I actually now have Structured Entropy. I went with this one instead of Degeneration because actually I like the little bit of the heal. There's you get healing on this, and you can actually it's fairly cheap. It's just over 2,000, and you can hit multiple targets, and you will get healing from multiple targets that way, and dot each one of them up, which is nice. I didn't know that about this skill. I've always used Degeneration, and I always felt bad with using Degeneration because it doubles up on the what I get with my spell power pots. So for getting that for it's sorcery, right? I always forget. It's the major sorcery. It doubles up on that. So I always kind of felt bad that, or just not felt bad, but felt like it was a waste. So I switched this, so I still need my spell pots, to be able to have my sorcery to keep that up. But now when I'm using it in something other than a parse, it actually becomes very useful. So I have that in the front bar. Still have our Swallow Soul. Remember, our Swallow Soul is great for our keeping ourselves alive. Steals the enemy's life force. Does magic damage. And also heals you for 36% of the damage. Which is great. Inflicted every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. Love it. We still, of course, have our heavy hitter. This is our Merciless Resolve. Focus your senses for 40 seconds. Increases your critical damage and healing by 2% for every light or heavy attack. So you times that by 5. While active, hitting an enemy with 5 light or heavy attacks converts this ability into Assassin's Will, which is a bow. You get the special arrow that flies off and deals 18,236. That's pretty hefty. Magic damage and heals for 50% of the damage dealt if you were within melee. Right. And then, of course, we have our execute. We have impale is back. Throw a magic blade, precision strike to the enemy. Deals 4, 4, 5, 6 magic damage. Deals 300% more damage to enemies under 25% health. So as soon as we get to 25% health on an enemy, boom, we switch to that. And then, because, like I said, this is just kind of my general all-purpose one, I put Inner Light on there. I keep it simple. Inner Light is very good because when it's slotted, your max Magicka is increased by 5%. And you gain Major Prophecy, increasing your spell crit rating. So, always wonderful. And then I use, for the ulti on the front bar, I use Incapacitating Strikes. It deals disease damage, cause you take 20% more damage for your attacks for 6 seconds. That's the big deal. You put that on there, you start to really do a lot of damage for 6 seconds, especially in an execute phase. If cast within 120 or more ultimate, the enemy is stunned for 3 seconds. While slotted, you get Reeve, which restores 100 Magicka and stamina when you deal damage with a light or heavy attack. So it's a wonderful one to just keep on there. So I like this morph, so you get the Magicka and stamina in there. So that's my front bar. My back bar, still we got Unstable Wall of Fire. We've had that before. Slam your staff down and create an unstable flame barrier in front of you, dealing 53 flame damage to enemies into the target area for every second. Burning enemies take 20% more damage from this ability. When the effect ends, the barrier explodes, dealing 88 flame damage. Now, here's where I have the change from the front, because remember I said I used to have twisting. My AoEs and dots used to be twisting path here, unstable, and the orb. So I've taken the orb off, the undaunted orb. It got a little bit of a nerf, and it got a little bit of a slowdown as well in there. And I was just finding that I was getting more out of laying down these AoEs and then finding individuals to go after, either to just finish them off with Swallow Soul, or to dot them up one more time and get a little bit of healing for myself. I found that more useful for me, not only in my parsing, but also in just general usage. So that was the big change. So Twisting Path is now on the back bar. Creates a corridor of shadows, granting you and your allies major expedition, increasing your movement speed. The effect persists for 4 seconds after leaving the path. Deals 2041 magic damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second. So every second. Then we have our Resource Manager. Imbue your weapon with soul-stealing power, causing your light and heavy attacks to heal you for 15, 24 health and restore 106 Magicka for 20 seconds. Fully charged heavy attacks restore twice the value. You restore up to 4270 additional Magicka when the effect ends. So you want to wait for that falls off. Based on the length of time siphoning attacks was active. And then I have my Shade. Shade is back. Summon a Shade version of yourself to attack an enemy and fight at your side for 20 seconds. The Shade slashes an enemy, dealing 3216 magic damage, and occasionally whirlwinds all enemies around, dealing 2764 magic damage once every 2 seconds. The Shade's attacks inflict minor maim, reducing an enemy's damage done by 5% for 4 seconds. This ability scales with your highest effective stats. And then again, the Inner Light on the back. Yeah. So I keep it nice and simple with that. I like keeping that Inner Light on the back, so then I only have to worry about the first 4 when I'm doing stuff. And then finally, Fiery Rage. That is the Destruction Staff morph, ulti. So create a Cataclysmic Storm at the target location that builds for 2 seconds, then lays waste to all enemies in the area, dealing 8709 flame damage every 1 second for 7 seconds. All right. So that's my setup. Now, if you notice over here, I've got a couple of presets. So I change it up slightly depending on a couple situations. If I got to be real sneaky, it's actually pretty easy. It's just my front bar. I swap this out and I use Shadowy Disguise. This setup actually does really well with keeping in stealth for a long period of time. And you do have to watch your resources a little bit. You can't do it forever, but it's pretty good. Cloak yourself in shadows and become invisible for 3 seconds. Your next direct damage used within 3 seconds will always be a critical strike. So I just use it if I want to get through dungeons quickly, or if I'm doing a delve by myself and I just want to get through an area in PvP or something like that. I'll throw that on. And then the other one is for when I parse. When I parse, or if I'm in a trial and I want to really try to maximize my damage as much as I can, I click that and 2 of them change. Elemental Weapon and Debilitate. Elemental Weapon, infuse your weapon with power, causing your next light attacks within 2 seconds to deal an additional 899 magic damage, and apply the Burning Concussion or Chill elemental status effects. If the power is not consumed in time, you restore 1404 Magicka. This one does more damage than my Swallow Soul, but you can use either one. Having that elemental weapon, because it's not an attack, it's something that gets applied to your light attacks. You have to make sure that your light attack weaving is good. Or pretty good. Because without light attack, this is really not doing anything. Where Swallow Soul, you're actually doing an attack and you're weaving your light attack within that attack in there. Elemental Weapon is just putting that on your light attack, and if you can't weave your light attack within it, it serves no purpose. So if you have trouble with your light attacks, you might want to think about holding on to Swallow Soul there. But for me, I do real well with it, so I apply it to that. The other one that changes is Debilitate. I actually had the other one for a while, the other morph, which was Crippling Grasp. I changed to this because I was watching some other people's videos, and I was talking to some of friends of mine about it, and we worked out, and it was made known to me that the big thing about Debilitate is that where Crippling Grasp will have the a bit of damage front loaded on it, and then goes through dot. It starts to dot up everything, and this now is going to do more damage because you've got the dots over time. Starting right from the beginning in there, which gives a chance for my crit, to come into play. But also, you really want it for the bottom part here. Each tick applies the Overcharge status effect, inflicting minor magic steal for 4 seconds, causing you and your allies to restore 168 Magicka every second while damaging the target. So again, something that's going to keep me up with resources so that I'm able to do more damage and that I don't have to, do a heavy attack or something like that. That's really important in parses and stuff. So I actually now have 3 things that give me back resources as far as skills. I have the Debilitate, I have the Incapacitating Strikes, and I also have my Siphoning. So my resources are really good with this. So yeah, that's what we got going on with that. So I'm really liking it. Let's see. So we did all that. Let's see. Is there anything within here? Make sure that you take all of the passives. Shadow, take all the passives. Siphoning, take all the passives. Go into your Destruction Staff, take all the passives. Armor, take all the passives within here. Oh, I also have, actually I might switch this one out. I haven't done that yet with this patch. But actually I kind of like Dampen Magic because it gives me more of a shield. If I need a shield in any situation, like if I'm doing, Asylum Sanctorum or something like that, I need a shield for those certain moments. I'll swap that in. I might, take that out for my, for my inner light on the back bar, so I've got something there. So that's kind of situational. I do put stuff into my medium because now I've got a medium piece of armor in there. A few things. Let's see. It gives me some stamina recovery. Look at that, 4% stamina recovery. Not bad. Reduce stamina cost of your abilities. You know, I don't really have any, but it's 2% if I were. Improve sneak by 7%. You know, the cost of sneak. Reduce the size of detection area by 5%. So it's giving me a little bit of extra. And then athletics increases the movement speed bonus of sprint. So I go a little faster and reduces the cost of roll dodge. So having that medium, it's giving me a little bit of extras, within that. So I think at one time I had heavy stuff. Oh yeah, when I was using my Medusa and Pale Order, so I've got stuff in there. But you don't need stuff in heavy. Let's see. That's excavation shrines, soul magic or anything like that. Nothing there but that. Guild stuff, Mage's Guild, of course. That's what gives us our inner light and our structured entropy. Let's see, and I take all the passives in there. Let's see. Sigik. Yeah, Sigik, of course, because of the elemental weapon. I do take the Clairvoyance. Reduce the cost of Sigik Order abilities by 15%. I also have the, when you have the Sigik Order ability slotted in our bracing, you get a little damage shield in there. Damage shield recharges back to full, so if I need that. I also have Deliberation. While you're casting or channeling a Sigik Order ability, you gain Mage Protection, reducing your damage taken. And then I also do the... Oh, I guess it gets points in everything. The Spell Orbs, that gives us a little bit of extra power. A little bit of extra damage. When you cast a Sigik Order ability, while you're in combat, you generate a spell charge. When you reach 5 charges, you launch a spell at the closest enemy and dealing 4217 magic damage, or the physical damage, whichever is higher. Spell charges must be generated within 10 seconds of each. More charges will be lost. So that really helps us with us running our elemental weapon, because we're doing that all the time. So yeah. So I've got everything in there. An elemental weapon. Let's see. That doesn't affect anything anymore. Well, actually, we do get a little bit from Undaunted Metal, don't we? Let's see. That's a synergy thing. Increase your max stamina. Magicka, moves like that. So 4% because I've got light and I've got medium. So that helps out a little bit. Every little bit helps. We got nothing in here. Nothing in the support. Racial. Love being a Khajiit. I love being a Khajiit. Yep. I mean, that really has helped out with having increase to health recovery, stamina magicka recovery, increase your maximum health, magicka, and stamina by almost 1,000. Increases your crit damage. That's probably the big one. Crit damage and crit healing. So that's part of the reason why I feel comfortable using the Thief Mundus Stone instead of the Shadow Mundus Stone, because I'm doing enough crit damage. With that. So, okay. Boom, 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 boom. I think that covers everything on there. Let's do the CP points. The CP points had a change. Some things got nerfed, but great thing is now you got a lot of options. I mean, at like 1,300, you can get everything. I'm at, what am I at now? 1637. I'm able to have a lot of options within here. So I start off here, and I've got my precision passive, so I've got all the passives. I use fighting fitness, so 10% critical up to my critical damage by 10%. I use backstabber for situations and when I parse, so that gives me 15% crit damage, so even a little bit more. I then went over here to the purple. I put everything into piercing for penetration. I don't use weapon expert. That's new. Flawless ritual, 60% increase into playing magical status, and war mage, sorry, grants 100 weapon and spell damage to magical attacks. And here, because of that poison damage, I've been putting stuff into this side for the martial status effects on there. Being a 30% increase, that's going to go up to 60 when I get. I've got 16 CP points in warfare. Once I get 4 more, I'll be able to get that to full. And then I've got mighty up to full. So grants 100 weapon spell damage to martial attacks. Again, that poison counts as that, so it affects physical poison, disease, and blood damage. So I've got that in there. And that unlocks these. I have Deadly Aim, which increases your damage done with single target abilities, single targets by 2% each, 10% total. Thaumaturge I use for my dots, 10% extra damage. Let's see, I must have been doing a group. Yeah, I must have been doing a group thing. Dungeons or something like that, I had that on there. When I want the most power, I actually swap that one out, and I put on Master of Arms. Increases your damage done with direct damage attacks for my 10%. So if I'm kind of doing a dungeon, I'm doing more kind of AoE, more of my dot stuff. I'll go Fighting Fitness, Deadly Aim, Master Arms, and Thaumaturge. If I want to do more for my parsing, I will swap out Thaumaturge and put in Backstabber. Yeah. So that's my changes. Fighting Fitness, Deadly Aim, Master Arms. That's the new one. What that replaced was the Biting Aura, which was my AoE. So I took that one out because and kept in Thaumaturge as an option because everything that I do, that it was an AoE, is also a dot. But not all of my dots are AoEs. So that was an easy choice on there. So, all right. And then, like I said, because there's so much, extra points of things, I've got everything now maxed out in my defensive for damage reduction to things. All that's in there. I also put points over here into my healing done. So it gives you a little bit more to the healing, 2% in there. The only passive I don't have anything in is the stamina one. Again, that's going to be what I'm going to put in after I've filled out the battle mastery. So I actually took points out of that stamina. I used to have points in that stamina one. And I put that so that I can get, start getting more out of the poison on my front bar. Yep, so that's kind of the direction for that. So, the other two, a lot of variety of stuff, within here. Just to let you know what I'm using. I'm using Boundless Vitality, grants extra health, armor, and rejuvenation. And then I swap between a quicker res and gaining Magicka back for whenever I kill an enemy. So if I'm by myself or smaller content or something like that, I'll do that. If I'm with a group of people, I'll switch to the Spirit Mastery. All these other ones, kind of fill out. I've filled out as many of the passes as I could. And then, of course, over here, you've got, all the different crafting ones. And this is, you can put whatever, stuff that you want. The thing that I like is the rationer over here, especially. So add 10 minutes of duration to any food and drink that has increased your character's stats. So that's kind of the most important one that affects me. The other ones are just like gold and gathering and cheaper way shrine stuff in there. So those we swap out. Oh, there is one that I will swap in though, is Steed's Blessing. Increases your out of combat movement speed so that if I'm in an arena like VVH or something like that, I move a little bit quicker to get through the stage for all speed run type stuff. But that's definitely optional. So mostly, you guys are probably concerned with, of course, the with this one. All right. Let's see. I think that might be everything. Is there anything that I'm forgetting? All right. We went through this. I went through all of that, showing everything, the Mundus stones. We checked out all the gear and why I'm using that gear, the changes to my gear, the changes to the enchants. We went through all of that. The spell pots. We checked out the Mundus stones being the thief, and the food being the solitude food. And we went through all of our skills. So I think we're good. If I forgot something or if there's something that you're curious about, please just put it in the comments below. And I hope this helps. And like I said, it might not be the ultimate of meta builds because, those change and people find out new things and stuff. But this is the thing that works for me. And I've been doing really well with it. My parsing has been the highest it's ever been. I know a lot of people, anytime you get updates and things change and stuff, people are worried about their damage output. With each update, my damage has been going up. My highest parsing, I think for the last video, I got up to 86. And now I'm at 88. I think my highest was like 88.4 or 0.5. So it's in that direction of 89, which means I'll probably try to practice and do a little bit better and get to 90, which would be my first 90 ever. So we're it's going along. It's going along with that. So I think this will work for you. This is kind of what I've come up with, and with a lot of input from other people, and I'm really enjoying it. So and I always say with any of these builds, always take it for a grain of salt. Always do whatever works for you. Like you even see with me when I do my with just general dungeon stuff. I put on inner light so I don't have to worry as much stuff. In the heat of battle, doing a trial or something like that, if I can, have less to do, usually my output is more. If I'm trying to just, if I get that tunnel vision of just parsing as I'm doing stuff, usually I'll stand in some bad and die or something like that, and dead DPS is no DPS. So, so yeah. And again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support with these. I really enjoy making them. If I can help anybody, figure it out and see the things that I do, I always enjoy it. And so please comment down below, like the video, and make sure that you're subscribed so that you can see more of these. And I'm going to be coming out with some more builds for update 29, especially my Frostagon, my fun dad build that's doing real well right now. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support. I will see you next time. And also, I should also plug the reverse, because I always on my Twitch channel, I always plug my my YouTube. We'll do the reverse. Make sure if you want to see me live, I stream on Twitch. Madagon, easy to find, twitch.tv/Madagon. And I stream ESO 5 days a week, and sometimes some bonus streams. So go over and check it out. So thanks, everybody. All right, talk to you soon.